Alrighty, this is the video intro, I guess. Woohoo! I'm not gonna take the time to edit anything of this. We're doing one take, one shot. Let's go. This is, so some people have been asking me about Warhead Junction now that it's in ranked mode. So I thought I'd give a rundown on some tips, tricks, strategies, how to approach the map. Some hero suggestions on heroes that are good there, some heroes that might be a little rated there. Um, so let's just I'll start off mostly talking about like the Storm League, um, not a 5 stack, and then maybe at the end we'll get into some strategies for 5 stacks specifically. Um, we'll see how I feel and how long this takes. We will go through an entire replay of the map from a recent game that I've played on that map, and kind of show you how I approached it and kind of what I was doing. Sorry, gotta send a message. Alright, so the first one is Zeg. So actually, let's, before we get into specific heroes, how to approach them. If you think of Cursed Hollow as League of Legends, then think of Warhead as Dota 2. Only one boss, for instance, in the top lane, but map control matters. I don't want to necessarily say more so, but that's more or less your win condition is winning, is just controlling the map until you win. You want to win the side lanes, you want to win mid lane, so that makes the map more dependent on lane matchups and 1v1s or 2v2s. It makes it important to get camps, makes it important to know when to push, how to push. Understand that unlike most maps, you're not going to like run up to the core and kill it in one go. You're probably gonna have to chip away at it multiple times. Understanding how the objective works is important. For instance, the first nuke never dropped before 4 minutes. At the 4 minute mark is when it has scaled to the point of trying to pull up some stats at the same time here. It's when it scales to the point where it will one shot a well. And you're like, but if it drops the well to like 1 HP, do I really care? And the answer is yes, yes you do. And the reason is there is the warning to the opposing team whenever you drop a nuke. And the last thing you want to do is give that warning and then have to wait for the nuke to drop and then apply an auto or something else to kill the well and finish it off. That puts you in a lot more danger than it's unnecessary risk that you don't need to take when you could just lane normally until 4 minutes. Now the first nukes spawn at 3 minute mark, so you get the announcement at 2:30, and then the nukes actually spawn at 3. So sometimes you're still fighting for a nuke or two, and you can go help that while you're waiting. Just don't lose your nuke. As for nuking, where to nuke, feel free to nuke on either side lane. Nuking mid, I would say only one for fort and one for keep just to kill wells. Other than that, I wouldn't hard committing to nuking the mid lane. And even then, I would say if you have the option to preference nuke a side lane. And going, oh, you should only nuke top. Top's the only lane with a boss. Boss is a quote unquote a win condition. It is a win condition for sure. Of the map of how you can kind of end the game. But of note, only 22% of games on Warhead Junction per hot slug stats per quick match actually end with a boss push. 22%. So are you really setting up your win condition and all ending on something that only occurs 22% of the time? No. It doesn't statistically make sense to be favoring something that was only going to help you win the game 22% of the time. Now, 22% is still a pretty good odd, so you should still try to get some top lane push going. I should have just done this on Twitch, so that way whenever I pause like this, it makes a little bit more sense. Sorry. And once we're in the replay, I'll kind of go over each map, each lane a little bit more on why each lane is important. So let's just quickly go through some good heroes. Cigar is one. Pretty good at 1v1s or 2v2s, right? A lot of harass. Has the Nidus if you want to go that route as well. Actually, I would recommend it on Warhead Junction just because you can kind of use it to get in and out of laning better, as well as staying helpful. Sylve is my personal favorite go-to. This is it's all for Merqueen, and the replays actually of Sylve. So once we're in there, I can kind of show you in detail what I do. Abathur is really good because Mule, which you should basically always be taking anyways. Because nukes aren't generally gonna 100-0, and a lot of times you're just doing chip damage to buildings instead of like all ending on buildings like on other maps. Mule gets extra value because you can kind of sustain through that chip damage a lot better. Dahaka is super good. Every warhead spawn point is next to a bush, which means he can always dig right onto every objective. And also is the only person who can go from top lane to bot lane without needing the tunnel, just instantly. And we'll go over the tunnel. Falset's okay. If you go mid, you can kind of fly everywhere. But I wouldn't recommend sticking him in a side lane because there's no point at that point. At that point, if you're sticking him in the side lane, anyone can basically global as far as he can to the other side lane because he would still just use the tunnel. I know there's more that I want to talk about. Reg is pretty solid at 1v1s, and a lot of you are probably like, Lava Wave, duh, it's a large map, Lava Wave value. Lava Wave gets more value on Warhead Junction than any other map. If you lose a fort in a side lane, which you most likely will at some point, then if you time Lava Wave correctly, you can always get 3 waves. You can get one that's pushing up towards your keep, one that would be about halfway across the map at that point, and then the one that's spawning. Well as other maps, or the timing for 3 either is non-existent or is very, very tight, so it just gets better. But more importantly though, is Molten Core. You can just, like, you know when they're dropping a nuke, and you know when that damage is going to be applied to your buildings, and you can just Molten Core your fort or keep every 2 minutes, which is around when nukes spawn, by the way, every 2.5 minutes from when the last one was picked up. You can just block one nuke basically every spawn. We had a Rag in the replay show, but I don't know if he ever pulled off the Molten Core trick. But that is something you should, if you're playing Rag on that, be looking for more often. I wouldn't recommend using Molten Core to stall. I'd say Meteor or Bust. But you can use Molten Core in that way very efficiently and effectively to just delay things. You could go Phoenix for Planet Cracker if you really, really wanted to. Gazlo's pretty good at zoning, can kind of go in on that. Illidan's decent split push. It's probably a better map for him. Samuro. I would actually say Vikings aren't good on that map anymore. By comparison to where they were before the tunnel existed. It's almost too easy to rotate on Vikings now and just gank them. I'd actually recommend, unless you're very proficient Viking, I would argue that Warhead Junction is actually a worse map than even Infernal Shrines is for TLV now. Samuro, pretty solid on the map, pretty good split pusher, safely can push keeps, and get out very safely. And I think that's actually just like all the heroes I would overly recommend. It does tend to go late, so you might go like, oh, I should get a late game hero like Naz. But the answer is no, because you also don't want to get snowballed out of the game too hard. Brightwing is actually probably the best healer map-wise because of the global. You should think of, while drafting Warhead, how am I going to win my lane, and do I have the skill to win a 1v1 into at least some of the matchups that they have. So I tend to favor heroes I'm very comfortable 1v1ing on or 2v2ing on. For that reason, I don't look for the big wombo combos as a team because there's almost no reason to ever really 5-man group on that map. Um, let's go ahead and just pull up the replay. Backward whites. Only 2 ranks showing. It's weird. Don't look at the ranks. This isn't obviously an alt.
Alert. Battleground initialization in progress. Combat preparation advised.
Alright. Alright, so I went for Might of the Banshee Queen here. I do like Overwhelming Affliction a lot, but I went for this just because it was going to help more in the 1v1s. And they did go like Vikings and stuff. I didn't need a lot of the percent damage.
Localized combat now beginning.
So I tend to go to the bottom vision first because everyone has the muscle memory to go the first one, so I tend to find the bottom ones just free. That's just what I favor. You don't have to do that. Obviously, the more people that favor, I check for Vikings. We have Ragtop, me down here. Start clearing it. I do have vision on them. I am playing it slightly faster just so we can kind of get through it and not have to wait for the full duration. I'll slow it down at certain points. I personally the Viking. I'm trying to. I realize I should be freezing the lane there. There's a bunch of pings that are going up. I have to watch because if they're going up, they could be rotating, capturing vision, grab tunnel, come down and gank me. So that is something you have to be aware of. Is people rotating the opposite direction on mid could mean that they're still coming for you. So again, I'm just trying to like let my wave build up while also trying to keep Olaf off the farm as much as I can. Top. You know, what my team's doing right now doesn't really matter. They're just not dying, and that's all I need from them. I'm checking for Olaf again. I'm getting a lot of push. Look, I'm already getting all these tower damage. Basically, I'm going to walk away from this with the entire bot wall already gone, less than 2 minutes. I'm checking, actually what I was doing there was I was checking our walls and the 2 lanes they were pushing, and seeing if I got more value than them. And I did! I see them coming, I immediately leave. You need to do it preemptively because the tunnel, of course, makes that super dangerous. I'm level 4, which means I now have Mercenary Queen. It's just the largest buff you can give to merc camps in the game. 60%. The next size is 50. There's a couple 50s. And this camp is super good with Sylve. This is actually why I like Sylve, is Merc Queen and this camp. Because this camp does minus armor, which means they're already going to be doing plus 20%, plus anything else does plus 20%. To buildings even. It applies the debuff to buildings. So then I'm able to go in, and I will do 20% more, plus my camp is doing 20% more, plus my camp is doing an additional 60% because of Merc Queen. Here, I guarantee my Merc camp gets as healthy as possible underneath their fort by just turning off their camp. Go ahead and clear the wave to get my camp on the building as fast as I can. I picked up the globe the first time. Now I'm pushing this camp, and watch just as it's stacking this, watch as this building just melts away. And I get half that building, I have to dash over, and I die. Because I wasn't paying enough attention. But we get the building, because of all that. And I didn't even need black arrows for it because of how much damage the camp was doing. The other reason everyone was rotating down was there was the first nuke session, but I opted to get the fort. And Gul'dan dies because he chose to drop the nuke. It was super weird. So Rag gets our nuke. We've already nuked top, so you have the well because we held it till 4 minutes, or they pushed it. I'm not 100% sure. So I go ahead and just pick up the Bruiser camp now. Because I have Merc Queen, I can do it pretty efficiently on my own, especially post 7. And of course, I'm gonna apply the buff. Because I have Merc Queen, to push with a camp, I don't actually have to show. I just need to be close enough to be buffing it. This is something like Vikings will do a bunch, where they like hide and they just buff the camp. I can do that too, as Sylve. I don't always need to be showing. Like, if I was showing there, they would know that they're coming in on 2, and they probably would have caught us from this bush. But I was able to ward the bush because of it. My whole team's here, so I just away. I think I moved the mouse. So I tunnel out, and then I rotate to mid. because we lava wave bot. If we didn't lava wave bot, I would have just soaked and pushed bot. So I go ahead and grab mid, and I knew this camp was coming up, so I go ahead and go for that. I also went mind control because that helps in 1v1s. So I see them coming out of the tunnel. I know they're going to grab vision, so I have to be careful here. But I'm guessing they're just going to their camp, and I was right, as you'll see in a second. So I'll ping it, I'll start running there. We even called for Rag to tunnel down. It was just me and Rag in the party. So I called for Rag to tunnel down. We won the camp before we even finished getting there, but he was going to be there, and he's able to tunnel back up to top lane without missing soak. I go back to grab this wave, because I prioritize having wave and camp over just camp. We still they camp, we got the XP, that's all I really need. But minions do bonus damage to structures, and that bonus damage of course is increased if you also have minus armor on the structure, so you should always try to push with minions when you can. See here, our camp is dead, nukes are up, I just leave. My team just keeps fighting. They actually win this fight. 3v4. Or 3v3 technically, I guess Ranger also top. We're gonna lava away mid, I'm gonna go ahead and pick up the soak that was already there. I waste an ability. I'm gonna pick up my 13, I don't really care about Olaf here. I went remorseless, just, any of these are fine. I go ahead and I sit here, this is a really good nuking spot. If the wall's gone, just nuke from here, if you can. Like, you're never gonna, like, once you have vision here, you're never showing between here, and you can drop nuke and hit the fort. So, like, it's safer than, like, coming here, pushing the wave in, and then doing it. I can drop nuke, and I can leave, and of course, on the main map, we are in use, and we're still down here. But it's a good spot to know. But, of course, if the wall still exists, I would recommend making sure you always nuke, like, as many structures as you can in one go. Because that, I did try for the mind control. It was fine because I was still able to blink in, just secure buildings. You want to secure buildings when you have the option to, because that will open up the map. Once you, ooh, there I go again. Actually, just keep playing because I'm dead. Once you control, removing the two top and bottom forts, kind of gives you access to these wings. Clearing mid means that you're kind of really safe, like all the way up through this camp line. Controlling mid means controlling vision. Controlling vision means controlling tunnels. Controlling tunnel means you control the map. This is almost as small as Tomb of the Spider Queen, I'd say, if you're controlling the tunnels. If you're not controlling the tunnels, this is by far the largest map, and it also becomes a very big pain in the butt. And once again, I opt not to go to where my team's fighting. I instead go and get this camp again. I wouldn't say like split push on this map is really strong. I would say split pushers on this map are really strong. Like, the player of split pushers are really strong because I don't want to say you don't have to fight on this map, because you do, but you have to do smaller fights. And controlling the map and knowing how to like move around the map safely like this, or like how far up I am, knowing they're all there, like knowing how to do that, I would say, is how you're gonna end up wanting to play the map and win the map. Just knowing how to move around a map safely when you have control like this. So they're all showing top, which means I can actually push. My original plan was just to sit in this bush and just buff the camp damage. I see my camp is on the wave, so I'm gonna keep turning off these. I'm gonna try to get some chip damage there. Which I can, minus armor on that. Now the minus armor is gonna be stacked on this. We have camps coming in. I'm watching. I see them trying to figure out if they're going for. We actually did the right thing there. I unstoppable the fear, and I'm just running away. And I'm gonna actually just fully leave. I still see the two primary sources of CC up here, so I'm free to back. And it's like, huh, some of them might be in boss, or we could do boss. And here goes Diablo. Just gonna go for the full combo. But this boss, it can do a lot of damage if you're not careful. But if you're careful, you can literally, we're just gonna duo this boss. And it's not like Sylv and Rag are known for their self-sustain either. We're just hitting the boss well. we could have traded that and easily duoed that boss. So like knowing how to take that boss also help, because you can just do it with less people, and doing it with less people means it's less likely they know you're on it. Because right now, like, they were all pushing bot and we just got a free boss. My team all tunneled right on them. They didn't respond in time, so they lost a hero in the third. I get to push with this because I have trait. I'm checking with my E is what I'm doing here. Is I'm checking to know where they are across there. So I know how many are there, who's there, if I'm in danger of CC or not. And I just press my 1 key and run away. Meanwhile, my team pushes bot keep, kills it. And that actually ends up mattering a lot, as you'll see going forward, having the that bot keep gone. Diablo just wants Rag to forward up here in mid to get some structure damage in mid going. So, while this is going on, let's talk about the lanes. So each lane really has its own win condition that you could kind of play around towards, and I would always recommend playing towards at least 2 of them, which means you always need to be winning at least 2 lanes. The top lane obviously is the boss. This is a nice win condition. It works 22% of the time, as we said. Middle lane is the shortest lane, and therefore is the lane that if you like wipe him in the late game, this is the lane you want pushing, because it's going to be the shortest distance from like your core to their core. Bot lane has these camps, which are super amazing in the fact that they do minus armor on core. Notice I'm just pushing in here. My team went and fought. I'm just going to hit core. And I'm going to get polyed there. I'm going to press the 1 key and just run away. And because of this push, I got almost half of core. And half of core is a lot. Now, here's the next thing I do on this map. I know where they are. I'm watching this minion wave because they're going to walk through it. I see them here, and I make a call. I'm going for double nuke. I'm going to drop a nuke to zone them out if they do approach, and I'm just going to channel the other nuke. I basically just removed a nuke from the map and said no one gets this nuke. But it allows me to pick up the other nuke, which otherwise they would have rotated towards, and they would have most likely gotten because it was only me down there. So, like, playing for that was really good. No, I'm just going to threaten to push core again with the camp wave. This time I have a nuke again. But the second they disappear, like, I imagine they saw me on the main map. They're going to be coming back. I don't see them pushing our keep still, so I just back. Oh, look. They didn't actually go for me. They went for the fort. That's fine, though. I'm safe. Like, I'm alive. Dying should be avoided. And that just applies to any HOTS games. Alright. They were showing bot. We don't really tunnel there. Top forts or top keeps low. Let's just go ahead and nuke it. Prioritizing that side lane. Also, it was already more damaged. I knew it wasn't gonna go down, but I also knew I had to wait to see where they were. Alright, there's Gul'dan showing on core. Go ahead and get some damage going on it once again. Watching for them. Here they come. Unstoppable Fear once again. And unfortunately, I should have just finished. Knowing I was going to die there, I should have just left and killed, or I should have killed the keep instead of trying to leave. I tried to do both, and unfortunately, I didn't get anything because of it. My team escorts Rag out here. Boom, here they go. Diablo dies. I call the fact that fear was used, and now I realize my mistake. I'm like, please go wave, go kill it. This is one kata. If I had killed this kata goes on core, and this wave has a kata. That's what I lost by not getting it earlier. Was one kata spawn and a little bit of core pressure. So we love wave bottom to go with our camp and kind of help clear out their camp. At this point in the game, once you hit 20, oh my, sorry. I would recommend just lava waving one lane. Just pick a lane and lava wave that lane on a cooldown, and just keeping the pressure up on that one lane as best you can. So there's a camp pushing. I'm Sylv, there's double kata, and I have a nuke. These are all great things, but our team still needs to defend, because some of them, we weren't already all here. So I can run in, drop the nuke, focus core a little bit, dodge that nuke. Nukes, no matter if it's the core defense nuke or or a player drops a nuke, all nukes only do 1/3 of a player's like HP. Um, Also, like, I wasted so much time trying to figure out where they were. If I just went in on the core here, I probably would have ended in time. But instead, it's now at 9%. So, now my team's trying to pick up this nuke, but because they thought I had it, and I messed it up. We do have some catapult pressure, though, coming in from both side lanes. There's already two catas stacked top. There'll be at least a third. By the time that would reach core, they're getting bruiser camp now. There's 1.5. This one will die. Oh no, there's Gul'dans. Oh, they all die. Yeah, this is. So now it's just a matter of like how do we go in and end this game. But this is what I was saying. Like, you play for chip damage on core and stuff. Like, you got a killer too, or you have someone split pushing, get some core damage. All right, get out. Go in, get some core damage. And this is why Mule is huge. Imagine if they had Abathur this game. Like, this core would be still at like 50%. So we've done 50, and then that second push we've done another 50, and that would be it. It would just be sitting at 50 indefinitely. Here we go. We have the camp again. We're pushing up as a group this time. I believe we have Ragford available. Yeah, we have Ragford available. Making sure we're just gonna play around, getting the rag up there. Big rag stun though. Getting damage on the Vikings here. And Gul'dan just kills the Ragford. Good shove. Mind control missed. Also went on the Mosh. But they had to step up to defend. They kind of overcommitted to the defense. And because of that, they started losing people. We still have our healer alive, so we're able to kind of just back up and use this cooldowns to heal back up. We're gonna go ahead and drop that nuke on core. Another mind control on Viking. Diablo gets a Viking. Kind of really threatened core here. We have some catas coming in top. As I said, 3 catas have now stacked up there. And that's what we're playing for. We're actually playing for those catas to come in. Rainer goes up and clears them. A lot of people won't be paying that much attention, and you can easily push those in. Alright, well, he cleared those. Now we leave. Nukes are about to spawn. I'm out of mana. And that was important that we didn't overcommit to it, but we didn't like completely back off. And this is what I was saying, like, this lava wave, alright, now this cat is going straight to core. It's not gonna run into anything. This cat is going straight to core. And we can pick up this camp again. But we're just keeping up that constant pressure on that one lane. That's what's our plan. Well, we have some katas going, we have a camp. You go fight. I'm gonna go push the camp to end. That could be our plan. That's a plan that we could use. So here comes another lava wave. This one's just to clear out the Razor camp. It wasn't a huge deal. Also, because I'm trying to push bot, we don't want to draw too much attention to bot. They're not on boss, so our team just goes for boss because they all were waiting and responding to me in that camp. Because of that, I'm able to tunnel out. Now our plan is just to go boss. I make sure not to show there. They're coming. I see they're coming, so I actually don't help on boss. I wait. Mind control underneath the laser. Wasn't enough to kill, but was enough to kind of threaten them there. And we get the Raynor kill. Here comes the Mosh. Kill him. Now we get Death Mosh. Stuka feels left out and walks in. Now they have 2 dead for a minute, and we have a boss. And a nuke? 2 nukes? 1 nuke. Apoc actually interrupts the Viking ult. And that's the game because there was only 9% on core. So that was kind of what I was saying about like playing the map, looking for chip damage. Hopefully that helped explain some of that. Yeah, it's already been a half an hour. I don't feel like going into the 5v5 strategies and stuff you could do on that map. Study Dota 2, honestly, for that map. That's my main recommendation, is treat the map like you're almost playing Dota 2. And we'll see you next time in the Nexus.